Okay, welcome to part two. Got so many new finds that we have to take. It'll take two turns at it to get it. Again, back to the Elton John. What a nice record. These things are quite pricey if you're gonna get them off of eBay because they're very rare. It's just an old record, in a first edition in pristine condition. But it had some tape on it on the back, and I got the glue gun out. I got all the tape off. I got it off, and it's perfect. So wow, I got a really good deal on it. It's the way to do it. Okay, this is Emerson. This is Electric Light Orchestra. This is their ELL2 on the Japanese version, and wow, this is really sounds great. Love that record. This is Frankie Goes to Hollywood. This is a 12-inch of Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. And now here we got a few of those Holy Grails. Really hard to find records. Grand Funk Railroad, first edition. It's not the red vinyl, but it's on the green Capitol. And got that for a good price. And then a record that I've been looking for forever and ever. This was one of the first records I ever bought when I was, I don't know, 12 years old or something when it came out. And I've been trying to find a Japanese copy, and this is the only one I've ever seen. It's got a high gloss cover on it. Wow, is that ever beautiful. And of course it's got the OB on it. And it's a first edition. It's not red vinyl, but it's on the green Capitol label. And what phenomenal sound it has on it. This is one of my old favorite records. Boy, if you're not familiar with this record right here, put it on YouTube. Listen to this. This is a really good record. There's really good stuff on this record right here. And I think if you go on YouTube, if you go on eBay and you look for this record, if you can find it, because it's really rare. If you can find it, it's over $100. I happened to find it. This guy had it for like 29 bucks. So right away I'm like, and if just buy it now. I'm like, buy it, because he probably just put it on there. And I'm like, buy it now before someone else does. And I said, hang on a minute. I've done this before. I got to make sure. Maybe it's an orange label, Capital, or maybe it's got, it's defects or something. I got to read this again. I read it 3-4 times, and no, it was all near mint. So yeah, I bought that from the same seller. Had somebody, I must have had their collection, had all three of these. And this was, again, this is the Pebble cover. It's got all the photos in it. It's near mint. And I got this one, I guess. And you can tell them older Japanese, this always has this flap on the back. And of course, 2,000 yen. That's first edition. But I got this again for like $29. And I used to have a first edition of this on the green Capitol. I sold it for $20 on eBay. So it just ended up costing me like $9 for an upgrade. And I had another one of these I sold on eBay. I think I had a really nice domestic, and I think I got 15 for that. And then of course, this one is super rare to get a first edition Japanese like this one. So this was, I think, $39 on that, but that's really good. I'm holding some grails there. And then I got a couple of these Dream Academies that I had on domestic, and I got picked them up for hardly nothing on eBay from the same seller that's buying some other stuff for them. And now, if you remember this record, this was the record I was talked about quite a bit when I talked about Paul McCartney had reissued all his earlier records and how they were so nice, but the sound. And I had a third edition because it had that different OB on it, you can tell. And even that third edition was so much better than the Paul McCartney. Well, I shouldn't say so much better, but you could tell the difference. It was better. And now this one is an upgrade from that. This one is really good. And there's a part on here where they're hitting like a piece of wood. The wood block, they're hitting on it. wow, it just sounds so much like a piece of wood compared to just, so you know, a sound effect. You can really, really hear the difference. So much, that first edition quality of the breath of life in the record. So I got it. I said I'd be looking for it. I got it. And of all places, I got it from a guy who had it in Russia. And it was one of them, you know, best offer things. So I lowballed him, and he took it. So, and of course, it's, you know, it's pristine, it's mint. Really, really hard record to find. Really, really hard record to find. At a good deal, and even find one. So I've got that now. And then I got this, the Cult. I had one, but the one I bought was a domestic, and I bought it years ago, and I found, oh wow, the gatefold was hard to find. And I found the gatefold, but the record really wasn't very nice. So I finally, I got the Japanese one with the gatefold, and of course it's got a pristine vinyl with it. And then I upgraded to a Japanese copy of this fixed record. That's really the only decent fixed record there is. It says a good record right here. I like it. And then I upgraded to the Japanese on that Police record. This is an interesting. I've been looking for some type of best of Steppenwolf on the Japanese press for quite a long time. And there's a few on there, but they're $150, you know, crazy prices that I'm not going to pay. And I ended up buying this for $2.50. It's mint. And, you know, it's on the black MCA Rainbow, so that's early 70s edition. And I think that's probably a first press for this. And so I had never seen this one before looking, so I went and searched it after, and there was one other one on there. The guy wanted $250 for it. He had the OB on it now, but he's out of his mind. No one's going to give him $250, and it's not worth no $250. But it just goes to show you, it's a pretty rare record, and I got it for $2.50. Of course, plus the shipping. But you know, when you buy a bunch of Japanese records, shipping only costs me like $4, so it's like $6.50. And then I had the best of one, and I sold that on eBay for $6. So it ended up grand total 50 cents, what it ended up costing me. And then now this one is a record that I have never had before, because every time I've seen it in all the umpteen versions in all the record stores that I've been to, on eBay, you see them all the time. It's so hard to get a nice copy of this. And I finally got, look at it, it's still sealed. And it was, I think $29. And it doesn't have a barcode on it, anything like that. It's just ABC Dunhill on there. So, you know, it's hard to know unless you open it, but it sure looks like a first edition. So wow, what a deal that is. I'm really excited about that. But you know, most of the stuff that's on here, it's all on here. It's all on the best, the good stuff, the pusher and all that stuff. It's on here, so I don't have to break the shrink on it. But I just saw it and I said, wow, it's such a good deal on that. I need to pick it up. And then I've got this. You know, I've got a couple of the older Mamas and Papas domestics. So I picked this up. And you know, those old Mamas and Papas records, they're not worth very much. I might put them. I might have to have a look. Maybe I can get $5 or something for them. But this was good. And you know what's nice about this one is, just have a look at it. I'll show you the label. You know, it's an older ABC label, so it probably might be a first edition of this record, because that's really early 70s. That's when this record was made. So, and it was, I don't know, probably paid $5 for it or something. So that's a good deal. And then I got this Tragically Hip. I really like the Tragically Hip. That's a good record there. And then I bought this Gabers Zabo. You know, that Miserab was a fantastic record. And so I went and looked on YouTube, and I looked at some of his other ones. And this is another record that I really like. It's got some good songs on it. And so I looked, and I found one that was still in the shrink, mint shape. And so I picked that up. I'm really happy with that. That's a really nice record. Now here we go. Canned Heat. You know, this is the textured cover, kind of like a parchment quality paper to it. And the nice thing about this is that this is a Japanese promo first edition. And I think I paid $12 plus $4 shipping. You know, because I don't buy just one record, I bought quite a few at the same time from this guy. So wow, what a deal that was. And then I think I sold the one I had on eBay because it was a Canadian first press. I think I sold that for $7. So really nice upgrade. And then I upgraded. I had the domestic of this, so I upgraded that. And now this is pretty interesting here. This is a Japanese first edition of this Rush Power Windows, and it's still in the shrink. So that's really sweet. And then I sold my, I think I paid $15 for this, and I had a Canadian first edition which I sold for $10. So I'm upgraded for $5 to a Japanese first edition in shrink. Wow. Okay, now we got the Yes, upgraded that to a Japanese. Boston, third, I got that upgraded to a mint Japanese copy. Venus and Mars, again upgraded. Used to have the domestic, now it's upgraded to the Japanese first edition OB on it. Same thing for the Bad Company, had the domestic and it had the ring wear and the record, you know, it wasn't too bad, but this is a nice primo copy. And these are pretty hard to find, and they're usually pretty expensive, but I think it was $15 I had to pay, which is really good for that record. And here's a good record here. This is Curved Air, their second record. Now, these are really hard to find. This is a really rare record right here. You won't see any of these on eBay, and so I ended up, I probably had to pay, I think it was $27, something like that. But it was free shipping, so that was a pretty good deal right there. And then I got that Power Station upgraded to a Japanese, and then got this Ventures record. You know, I like the Ventures. They're a good band. You know, I like the guitar work that they back old '60s. You know, it's the old surf type vibe there. But the nice thing about this one is, yeah, look at that. It's the old Liberty rainbow on it. So you know that's, you know, late '60s, very early '70s, '71 maybe, whatever. That's when that thing was made. Don't see a year on it. But you know that's an old record right there. It probably says the year on it in Japanese somewhere, but you know, of course, you know, I'm not going to be able to read that. But I can tell by the label that's definitely a first edition. And again, I had a couple people bidding against me on this, but I don't think it was. I don't think I paid over $10 for that, so that's a pretty good deal. Really hard to find record. You won't see another one of those. Here's a cool record. This is a band called If, and this is If 4, and it's got a bit of wear on the cover. You know, but it's a Japanese first edition, and it's a progressive band. You know, it's got some. It's kind of a jazz. Progressive rock type of deal. You know, back in 1970 when this was pressed. Pretty sure, 72, pardon me. This is 72. And you know, it's got some saxophones, got flute, got a really good guitar player on here, and keyboards, that type of thing. But the real cool part about the record is, you know, it's a first press because you know what it's on. On the old Japanese red vinyl on the Columbia, the green Columbia, and yeah, I didn't have anybody bidding against me on this thing, and you know, I only ended up paying I think it was about $15 for this record. and the quality of the musicianship, the stuff that's on this. This is what a lot of collectors. This is the type of music they look for. So I'm keeping this record, but if I wanted to sell it, I'm sure it's easily a $50 record. I could get $50 for it. Or if you want to be crazy like other people, put it on there for $100 and never sell it. But that, you know, I want to sell it, so I'm not going to be stupid about the price. Here's an interesting record here now. This Cat Stevens, Teaser and the Fire Cat. For years I just had a domestic Canadian on the you know, that old brown A&M label, and it always had really good fidelity. But Analog Productions and Quality Records said that they were going to reissue this. So I figured, well, I'll just sell that old one off. And I did. And then they decided, well, they weren't going to reissue it, so what in the world? So I bought one of those master file series, you know, the analog, or the half-speed master, you know, pressed in Japan. And then I saw this. And this is a Japanese, and it says right on here, half-speed master. And this is a lot nicer version. It's got the gatefold, nice gatefold cover on it. Nice big thick cover, and it's got that parchment quality paper on it. And I think it was around $25. So, and of course the sound on it is fantastic. It's a phenomenal sounding record. So that's a keeper there now. That's a major upgrade, and that's. And then I upgraded my Mahavishnu Orchestra Birds of Fire. This is a first edition Japanese. And I got this Razmanaz on that black on black. This sounds really nice. And then the last one here is this Blood, Sweat, and Tears. This is what they call a gift pack series. If you've ever seen any of these before, I might as well open it up and show you all what's inside here, how it works. It's like, you know, it's a box, and you get the 2 records in here. And the 2 records that you get basically is Blood, Sweat, and Tears 2 and 3. I had 2. And didn't have 3, and I was looking for 3, and you know they're pretty expensive if you can find them. So I ended up buying this thing, and you get it. What's pretty cool about it, you get a calendar in it, and what it's got all the kind of different. You look at the Partridge Family on there, and the Chicago, and then you got, you know, Dylan, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the different, you know, CBS, Sony, different bands that they had, Santana. And what else we got here? Chase, Jeff Beck. It's a cool item. And then you get a book, a bunch of Japanese, and it's got all the lyrics and some pictures and stuff. So these are always usually pretty neat. And then I've still got the original inner sleeves in here. So, and yeah, what was it? What did I pay? $20 for this thing? And I got both the records. And I got all the songs that I'm ever going to want of all the Blood, Sweat, and Tears stuff. And the near mint, and the sound, of course, is fantastic on it. And it's a nice package. And it's a good deal. So that's going to conclude the latest finds. Hopefully here I can make another video soon, and so I don't have to take, you know, 2 different videos to get all the records in. And thanks for being patient and spending your time with me. Hope you enjoyed that. And that's going to be it for the video.